Good morning. This is Monday with Friday, trusting there's a great week ahead for you. No, I am not breathing a word today about a twice impeached, twice indicted man who has led his party to ruin, his country's institutions and guardrails to ruin, his country's rule of law to ruin, the country's national debt, which his party did not want to pay, to ruin, and whom, by rabidly, blindly, and shamelessly supporting a whole bunch of Christians, ran their own credibility to ruin. No, not today. Today, I shall talk about perseverance. It's said that when a news reporter asked Thomas Edison, "How do you feel about having failed 1,000 times before finally inventing the incandescent light bulb?" Edison replied, "I did not fail 1,000 times. I took 1,000 steps to achieve greatness." Recently, I took the opportunity to remind a small gathering of leaders about the difference between a technical fix and an adaptive learning approach to a solution. For those of you unfamiliar with adaptive learning and adaptive processes, let me describe it like this. Say you have a leak in your ceiling. You bring in a roofing agent who plugs the leak, presumably because 2 weeks later, after heavy rains, the leak reappears. You assume the last roofing agent wasn't sufficiently professional, so you hire a different agent. He comes and he plugs the leak. Everything looks fine and you're happy until 6 months later, the leak springs again. Now, what you've been doing is applying a technical fix, and evidently it's not working. Technical fixes are fine for technical problems, but for deeper issues, they're useless. The fact that your leak keeps reappearing suggests your problem is adaptive, not technical. This means that you must have a thorough check of your entire roof. Go back, check its age, check the material, ask if there's a sprinkler system below the roof and above the ceiling that has somehow gone rogue, or a hidden air conditioning drain pipe below the roof above the ceiling that inconveniently spews its contents only when it rains. You wouldn't discover any of these problems unless you ask all these questions before wasting money on what you thought was a fix, but was not. Of course, this is quite an oversimplification, for adaptive solutions rarely apply to roofs and air conditioners. They more frequently apply to things like, how do we narrow the gap between the rich and poor? Why is it there anyway? For that one, tax breaks for the rich is not only not a technical fix, it's a scam. Ripe for adaptive processes are questions such as, how do we stop politicians from getting rich while making the rest of us poor? How do we prevent them from giving themselves huge pay increases while we creep towards a marginal increase over 20 years? How to renew an organization that did remarkably well in the 1990s but not so well today? How to reduce crime in our country? Regarding that one, a technical fix I have seen in too many places, including the USA and the Caribbean, is to hire a new police commissioner, fire the previous one, throw in a few curfews or states of emergency. Those are technical fixes that always fail, where what is needed instead is adaptive learning and adaptive processes. Now, adaptive processes don't rush to fix things. Adaptive processes ask loads of questions. Adaptive participants are patient, honest, humble, open to each voice of each stakeholder. They don't take offense easily. They're not defensive when deep critiques are made. Adaptive processes persevere with patient investigation rather than pursue quick solution. They treat any supposed failure at anything tried as an object for learning. And they treat what they've tried that has supposedly failed not as one and done and give up thereafter, but as experiments from which learning emerges, and the participants can thereafter change course, adapt. and try something different and new, asking questions all the way until the real, true, and sustainable fix comes along. The reason America today watches a former president indicted for high crimes is the said reason other nations where you might be, or organizations anywhere, are saddled with bad leaders, and it is this: the people who give leaders power all too often want some kind of quick fix. If only they would think more deeply, ask more robust questions, and dig deep beneath the surface of whom they think looks like a good leader, investigating more than assuming, perhaps we would all be in better shape. Perseverance is not about doing the same thing over and over again. It's certainly not about trying the same old dishonest, dishonorable, criminal, and failed leaders over and over again. Perseverance is to learn from what you did before and to change something each one of the next 1,000 times until you reach the goal. I long to see adaptive processes take root in police departments, political parties, governmental agencies, national life, and of course, religious organizations among religious people, and if I might add, in churches. I long to see voters think adaptively. Can you imagine how that would change our world? Please like this video, share this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I am Michael Friday, and your week just got better. I'll see you again next week. Happy Monday all the way to Friday.